Good morning. So why you should and shouldn't compare yourself to others. You know, as they say, comparison is the thief of joy. And 100% it is. And I think it's also important not to avoid it, but to also accept it. Accept that comparison is probably something that we do very unconsciously. We just do it without really knowing. It's probably something that dates back years and years and years and years, where we compare ourselves with others. We use it as a bit of a benchmark, and it can work very positively. You know, for some people, it's very inspiring. You know, we were in the session yesterday morning, we were doing our arm workout, we were doing some push-up work, and someone said to the other, wow, yeah, how'd you get that? You know, I struggle with that. But, you know, they were very inspired from it. Whereas someone else might be like, yeah, you know what, I need to do that. But then someone else says, you know what, I started on the wall as well. And it opens up that conversation. So a negative can turn into a positive. But just know that sometimes we look at that and we go, oh, you know what, I can't do that. I feel rubbish now. I can never do that. You know, that's too much for me. I'm not sure I'll be able to stick to that. And just know that someone else is probably looking at you thinking the same thing. And consider where that energy is spent. Like, that is energy gone right there. We could have put that energy to something more productive. You know, we often say that time is an issue. Time, we could have spent that with loved ones. We could have spent on working ourselves with that. And yes, I get it. It's frustrating, but what can we do about it? What can we control about this situation? That is the question to ask. Now, I also want you to consider when you compare yourself with others and when you say, yeah, it's all right for them. They've got this. They haven't got this. They're not doing this. We've got to consider that we put that on a pedestal. What I mean by that is, you know, like, take myself, right? You could quite easily say, well, it's all right for you. You like live in the studios. You live in with gym equipment around. And that's true. But you could also argue the opposite. You know, I live in that environment. So work and play can become one. And actually, you could also argue that makes it more difficult. You could also argue that, okay, I get up really early, I go to bed late. And I'm not saying that's a problem with that. It's just the way that I work, and I have time in the day where I spend time with kids, etc. And, you know, I'm very lucky to be able to do that. But there's always more to it than that. And that's just a small example. But we often look at something from the outside and think it's like the social media, you know, on a pedestal, the perfect thing. But actually, you know, when we look at the perfect thing, we want to take that perfect thing, but actually there's also challenges in there in the background as well, which we don't often see. And I think it's nice perspective to have a look at that. I can't remember who said it, but it's like, you know, we look at someone else and we think, yeah, they've got it easy. That, you know, they got the perfect this, the perfect that. But then when you look at it, or they're running their kids around there, they've got to take them there. They're looking after parents as well. They've got this, they got this. But yeah, they finish at 5 p.m. in their job, but they got this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And we could quite easily look on the outside like, oh yeah, I wish I finished at 5 p.m. or whatever it is. That's all right for you. You get lunch break. But there's all these other factors that we never consider because it's always on a pedestal. And I think this is a good reminder to have. And we also look inwards then and go, you know what? Yeah, I love that about my life. I wouldn't want to change that, because I think when you say, you know what, I wish I didn't have to do this, or wish I didn't have to do this, you've got to consider, okay, what about if you had to give it up all then to swap for that pedestal life that you're looking at on social media or comparing yourself to others? Because you might then go, you know what, yeah, but I love doing that. I love doing that. And then it gets us thinking about that. You know, I could say, oh yeah, well, I love it. I love a lie-in today. You know, sometimes there are days, 100%, there are days where I actually struggle to get up. Like, believe it or not, even though I'm an early bird anyway, but if I've had a bit of a late night and I feel like, you know, by late night, it could be like 11 o'clock, rock and roll, I might be like, you know, I could do with a lion. And the alarm goes off and I'm like, oh, wow, why am I tired today? I go into that state, like, why am I tired today? I know why. But it goes back to it. And I could go, oh, I wish I didn't have to get up today. But then, what don't I get to do? I don't get to coach. I don't get to get a workout in the morning. I don't get that energy that it gives it to me, that sense of achievement. And I love that. That gives me more energy, and that allows me to be a role model to others. All these things start to be positives, and it allows that perspective. Anyway, that's the morning thoughts today. I hope that helps. And I hope that helps us think differently. And speaking of thinking differently, that is exactly what we do in our free 5-day kickstart, which is starting on Monday, the 9th of January. Monday, the 9th of January, free 5-day kickstart, where we take you through small steps, 5 small tasks that you can fit into your daily life to get more in control of food, to kickstart your fitness and adapt it to you. So 5-10 minutes of exercise daily. Get into that routine. Think differently about this. Rather than go in January, let's do something that we can stick to. Most people are done in 84 days. What about if we're still doing it 6 months, 12 months on? What about if we got the tools in the toolbox to live with this forever, to fit health and fitness into our lifestyle? What would be different then? If you want to join us in there, comment below. I'll also put the link to that in the comments, and I will see you soon. Take care.